5-state poll bugle sounded. The semi-finals to 2024. Mizoram to vote on 7th November. Chhattisgarh to vote in 2 phases, 7th and 17th November. Madhya Pradesh to vote on 17th November. Rajasthan to vote on 23rd November. Telangana to vote on 30th November. Counting on 3rd December. The stakes are high, returns will be higher. A bipolar election in the Hindi Heartland. A 5-state election where Congress is truly in the hunt. A 5-state election where there is no CM face for the BJP. But Prime Minister Modi is on the ticket. The dates have been announced. It promises to be a bumper opening. Multi-starer versus superstar. See you at the hustings. Welcome, you're watching To The Point. I'm Preeti Chaudhary. The Election Commission this afternoon announced the poll dates for 5 states going into elections this winter. Many see it as a precursor to 2024. However, political theory will tantamount to the effect that state elections really don't concur with general elections. Having said that, we're going to break it down for you. But first up, let me take you through the headlines. Israel forces pledge ground invasion on Hamas, intensifies attack on Gaza. Terror kills over 370 terrorists in Gaza. Horrifying atrocities by Hamas terrorists. 25-year-old Israeli student abducted, German woman murdered, and her body paraded naked by Hamas groups. Over 100 held hostage by Hamas groups. Horrifying images of families held hostage emerge. As Hamas continues to fire rockets, close shave for India Today crew as Gaurav Sawant and Ashutosh Mishra caught in the crossfire trying to capture the firefight.
इकलौती टीम है मैं जो आपको यहाँ से एक ग्राउंड रिपोर्ट दिखा रहा हूँ ये हम आपको लगातार दिखाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं यहाँ बड़ा है ये एक एक्टिव वॉर जोन है ये देखिए लगातार रॉकेट दागे जा रहे हैं लगातार ये रॉकेट दागे जा रहे हैं
Stage set for the big semi-finals before the 2024 final. Poll dates for 5 states out. Madhya Pradesh votes on November 17th. Rajasthan on 23rd. 2 phases polls for Chhattisgarh on November 7th and 17th. Voting for Telangana November 30th. Mizoram on November 7th. Big counting day on December 3rd. And the stage is set for the fiercest contest. BJP releases latest poll list. 7 sitting MPs fielded from Rajasthan. 3 MPs fielded. 3 MPs fielded from Chhattisgarh. Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan to contest from Budni. The latest that is coming in, the Bharatiya Janata Party has just released its 4th poll list in the state of Madhya Pradesh, and finally speculations are clear. Shivraj Singh Chauhan, the incumbent Chief Minister of MP, will contest from Budni. Along with Shivraj Singh Chauhan, the name of Home Minister Narottam Mishra also announced as candidate to contest from Datia. Gopal Bhargava from Rehli, Vishwas Sarang from Narela. BJP fields Tulsi Ram Silawat from Sanwar. Stage set for the fiercest of contests. The latest information right now coming in. The BJP coming up with its 4th list. However, a bit of speculation continues whether Jyotiraditya Scindia will be given a ticket as well and will he contest this election. But speculations now put to rest whether Shivraj Singh Chauhan will be given a ticket. He has, and he will contest from Budni. Along with him, Narottam Mishra, the sitting Chief Minister of sitting Home Minister of Madhya Pradesh, will contest from Datia. Gopal Bhargava from Raheli, Vishwas Sarang from Narela. BJP has fielded Tulsi Ram Salawat from Sanwer. This is the fourth list. However, a bit of speculation still rife because the entire 230 have not been announced by the Bharatiya Janata Party. And will Jyotiraditya Scindia be fielded as well is the big question. But like I said earlier, speculations put to rest in connection with Shivraj Singh Chauhan. He is going to fight from Budhni. More news break coming in. From Madhya Pradesh, let's shift focus right now to the state of Rajasthan. More news break filtering in from Rajasthan. The BJP has followed the Madhya Pradesh template in Rajasthan as well, fielding 7 sitting MPs in Rajasthan. Diya Kumari, Rajyavardhan Rathod, Kirori Lal Meena will contest polls. BJP has fielded Rajyavardhan from Jotwada. Diya Kumari will also be fighting the election. 7 sitting MPs given tickets where Rajasthan is concerned by the Bharatiya Janata Party. That's the latest that is coming in. Rajyavardhan Rathod in the fray. Question mark still remains on Vasundhara Raje. Will she be given a ticket? Let's quickly cut across to Rajdeep Sardesai, consulting editor. But before that, let me quickly take you through the latest news break that is coming in. Lists given out both in Madhya Pradesh and in Rajasthan. We're going to take you through the latest that is coming in where Madhya Pradesh is concerned. 7 sitting MPs. They will contest in Madhya Pradesh, in Rajasthan as well. In Rajasthan, the 7 MPs and the seats they will contest are Diya Kumari. She will be contesting from Vidyadhar Nagar, Bhagirath Chaudhary, Kishangarh, Kirori Lal Meena, Sawai Madhopur, Devji Patel, Sanchor, Narendra Kumar Mandawa, Rajyavardhan Rathod from Jotwada and Baba Balaknath from Tijara very near to Alwar. Bringing in Rajdeep Sardesai, a consulting editor, into the conversation. Rajdeep, poll dates announced of all 5 states going into winter elections. What are the highlights? What do you think? The X factor going ahead.
Look, Preeti, as a caveat at the very outset, each state election is very distinct from the other, and many of these state elections will be very distinct from the way the same voters vote in the general elections that will follow in 2024. I think that has to be recognized, that in India now voters vote very differently in state elections and the general elections. If we quickly go state by state, according to me in Telangana, the key factor is what is the extent of the anti-incumbency against KCR's government that has been in power for 10 years, and will that crucially get divided between the Congress and the BJP? If the BJP gets more than 10-12% of the vote share, then it will be a little easier for KCR to breathe easy. If, on the other hand, that anti-incumbency vote is not split but consolidates around the Congress, then it will be a tougher battle. Then we turn to Chhattisgarh. In Chhattisgarh, the Congress has very effectively tried to make this election about the state leadership of Bhupesh Baghel and question whether the BJP, on the other hand, has a leader who is acceptable to all the factions in that state. Plus, the fact that on minimum support price, the Congress government there has given farmers perhaps more than in any other state in the country is being used by Bhupesh Baghel to offset the anti-incumbency that's there on the ground. We turn to Rajasthan, where clearly, while Ashok Gehlot has been able to arrest some of the anti-incumbency against the chief minister with a slew of welfare schemes, anti-incumbency against sitting MLAs has been a feature of Rajasthan politics for the last 20 years. History suggests every 5 years government shift. The question is the BJP going to get bogged in by their own leadership battles in Rajasthan, or can they do enough to win Rajasthan historically as well as because of anti-incumbency against sitting MLAs? Turn to Mizoram. The emergence of a new party there suggests that the MNF will not have all its own way. There will be some fallout of the conflict in neighboring Manipur. Is the Congress good enough to capitalize on that is a question mark. Once you have a second regional party, then that complicates things in a small state like Mizoram. I left Madhya Pradesh to the last because in many ways this is perhaps the most significant as well as the largest state going to the polls. Remember, there are 29 Lok Sabha seats in Madhya Pradesh. The BJP had won 28 out of the 29. But in the Vidhan Sabha, the Congress had edged home. And the general sense is a fatigue factor with Shivraj Singh Chauhan's government is sought to be arrested by the BJP by putting up union ministers, MPs, giving a boost in a way to the party cadres. But the Congress seems reasonably confident that the scale of anti-incumbency is such that you won't be able to overcome it overnight. So I think Madhya Pradesh will offer a key. If I were to be a betting man, I would say Chhattisgarh advantage Congress, Rajasthan slight advantage to the BJP, Telangana slight advantage to KCR, Mizoram likely to be a hung assembly. Madhya Pradesh is the 50-50 state with both sides. It'll be the RSS organization and its ability to...
Who gets the slight advantage in Madhya Pradesh, Rajdeep? As per you. Now you're giving it out there, you're sticking your neck out, so say...
No, you see, the fact is that Shivraj Singh Chauhan, much like Ashok Gehlot, has worked very hard in the last 6 months. Series of welfare schemes, cash handouts, the Ladli Behna scheme, all of these aimed at women voters could, in a way, make a difference. But when I look at the map of Madhya Pradesh, it's not just one election, it's 5 elections. You go to the Gwalior-Chambal region, the voting will be very different to Malwa, to Madhya Bharat, to Mahakaushal, to Vindhya Pradesh. So you have a 5-state election in a way. And I think eventually it will be a 15-20 seat gap between the two main parties at best. And in a state of 234, when it comes down to that, it's tough to say. A lot of people on the ground believe that the Congress has a slight edge. But remember, in close contests, barring Madhya Pradesh 2018, to some extent Himachal 2022, the BJP tends to do, has the last mile boot level connectivity. But that's the one where I want to put my hands in my pocket at the moment without betting on either side.
All right, Raji, before I let you go, just one quick question. Interesting, because Rajasthan, the list from the BJP has come in, practically following the template of Madhya Pradesh, sitting 5 MPs being fielded. You have the likes of Mr. Rathore in the hunt, Diya Kumari in the hunt, and probably what we are expecting, the next list will have the likes of Vasundhara Raje Scindia or even Gajendra Shekhawat.
Well, we haven't, we don't know whether Vasundhara Raje is going to actually be fielded or not. That's the big question. If she is, then clearly both in Madhya Pradesh and in Rajasthan, the BJP is leaving open the question of kaun banega Mukhyamantri. What they want is leaders to prove their merit on the ground in a Vidhan Sabha election and use the fact that they are Lok Sabha MPs to create a mahal, an environment that the BJP is in the fight. It also shows that the BJP at some extent knows that these are two tough elections, given anti-incumbency in Madhya Pradesh and factionalism in Rajasthan. So I think the BJP is leaving nothing to chance.
True.
But also the Congress, especially in Madhya Pradesh, got its act together reasonably early, and in Rajasthan too. Ashok Gehlot over the last 6 months has made effective use of the communications systems that were missing for a couple of years when he was, almost drawn into
at this point of time, Rajdeep, the sheer
fighting.
fact that the factionalism, the disaffection between Mr. Pilot and Mr. Gehlot is once again rearing its head.
It is. There will be the Gujjar factor. There is also going to be caste politics, Jat Gujjar factor, OBC factor in Madhya Pradesh will be a key factor in deciding elections. The tribal vote. Look, that's there. But I think what you're going to see, if I were to give you a big picture, this election in these 5 states is heavily localized. And that's really the reason why I said let's not draw any big national picture analogies, but more than ever before, elections will be fought locally, and number of, very interestingly, in both Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, in seats where union ministers and MPs are being fielded, there is local disaffection. Those who are hoping for MLA tickets are upset with the BJP. At the same time, within the Congress, those who are with the Pilot camp or in Rajasthan, or indeed with leaders in Madhya Pradesh who feel they aren't getting enough of a say, how will they respond? So you'll have a lot of rebels, independents. In fact, the BJP in Chhattisgarh has tried to prop up some of these independents and rebels. So I think none of these states, at the end of the day, you can say is a done deal.
Well, none of these states is a done deal. The Congress would like to localize this election, but the BJP has the Prime Minister on the ticket. Will they be able to do so? Thanks. Appreciate you joining us, Rajdeep. But Rajdeep practically sticking his neck out on certain states already, even before the campaign.
No, let me say at the end. I said at the very end, I said none of these states are a done deal. I
But
do believe.
you've said who has the edge.
At the start of the
Okay.
race, at the start of the race, this is
We'll
the
give you
broad
that.
picture.
All right, so that's the broad picture, but let's cut in more news break coming in from Chhattisgarh. Well, the BJP has released its second poll list in Chhattisgarh, and once again, what one thought could not happen, that was a ticket to Raman Singh. It's happened. Raman Singh will fight this election from the Bharatiya Janata Party. 3 MPs have been fielded from Chhattisgarh as well. Former Chief Minister Raman Singh now will contest from Rajanandgaon. Renuka Singh, Gomati Sai, Arun Sao, the state president there. 10 women candidates have also been fielded in the second list. A total of 15 women candidates so far fielded by the party, which is impressive if you look at the tally from the last time. A total of 10 scheduled tribe and 9 scheduled caste seats also announced in the second list. Interesting because the ST category could play a huge role in many seats where Chhattisgarh comes into question. Joining me now is the Deputy Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh, Mr. T.S. Singh Deo. Mr. Deo, Congress all set, poll dates announced. However, your own dates are not out, your own candidate list is not out yet.
We are more than ready, not overconfident, but yes, certainly confident. We have delivered on the ground. There are many things that we have converted from policy to implementation. So yes, we are ready.
Mr. Deo, the fact is no list out from the Congress yet. Are we expecting it anytime soon?
As soon as the Pitru Paksh is over, a lot of people still have strong beliefs about these practices, and the only reason that the list hasn't come out before this is that the Pitru Paksh is on. So once this period is over, I think on the 12th or the 13th, you will be aware of the list, Chhattisgarh list.
Mr. Deo, the BJP is running a very strong campaign that you could be the Trojan horse where Chhattisgarh is concerned, much like what Mr. Scindia did in MP. Is that even a possibility? Because there's been fair amount of backdrop to it.
That's not me. I'm not Jyotiraditya ji. He is himself. I'm an entirely different entity. And there'll never be a Trojan horse sense or event where I'm concerned. I'm very clear. Wherever I am, I'm absolutely clear. And I've always stated I'll never be able to go along with the BJP. So there's no question of a Trojan horse here.
So, sir, that prompts me to my next question. So it's all in support of Mr. Baghel leading the charge for the Congress. You are now satisfied, content to play his deputy?
It had been decided on the 28th of June when we had a meeting at 24 Akbar Road, that is the AICC headquarters, that the joint leadership will take care of the election campaigning and it will be headed by Mr. Baghel. So that is the status so far. We are working together. We have a joint leadership, so to say, who are doing good coordinated work. There are no ruffles, no ripples. We are doing good work together.
No ruffles, no ripples, but sir, collectively your government in Chhattisgarh has claimed off late that they've completely finished off Naxalism in the state. Yet Bastar will go to vote in the second phase in a small 90-seat assembly. Chhattisgarh will go to vote in 2 phases. Quite contradictory to your own claims, sir.
We have certainly reduced Naxal activities to more than half. There are no two things about that. That data is available for all to see on the social media. As far as the election commission is concerned, it seems to feel that it needs to do it in 2 phases. So we have 20 seats going to the polls in phase 1.
Final question, Mr. Deo. Mr. Raman Singh has been given a ticket, but clearly there's no chief ministerial face, as in any other state of the Hindi heartland with BJP's contesting. However, the Prime Minister is on the ticket. So somewhere down the line, you're looking at regional satraps or regional strong leaders within the Congress to face off with the Prime Minister.
Mr. Narendra Modi really doesn't figure as far as state politics is concerned. He's a leader at the national level. He heads the government at the center. And people know that he's not going to work in Chhattisgarh or any of the states. And that is the reason why you have seen that in many of the states, where he has been pitched directly, even asking for votes in his own name, success has not been coming BJP's way. We saw the same thing in Bihar. There was no local leader pitched, and he was the face, he was the person. Same thing in Bengal, it didn't work. Same thing in Himachal, it didn't work. Same thing in Karnataka, it didn't work. Where it worked was where BJP had their leadership, which was in Uttar Pradesh, in Uttarakhand. They had put up their local leaders, and there you will see that the BJP did better in the states. So Mr. Modi will not be a deciding factor. He is what we would call a star campaigner, undoubtedly, but that he will impact the result of the state elections, I doubt it very much.
Sir, appreciate you taking the time off, Deputy Chief Minister, Mr. Deo. Thank you. May the best party win, and may the best man be the Chief Minister, at least with what we're looking at, or women, where the BJP is concerned, because there's no face. But thank you, sir, for joining us. We'll see you in Raipur, we'll see you in Chhattisgarh in the coming few days. Let's cut across right now to our panelist this evening. Avinash Kala, senior journalist, joins us, has his eyes firmly on the state of Rajasthan. Amitabh Tiwari, political analyst. There's been a flurry of lists that have been released by the Bharatiya Janata Party. What does it mean? We're going to break it down. Manish Dikshit, senior journalist, will be joining us from Madhya Pradesh, Bhopal. Shazia Ilmi, national spokesperson, Bharatiya Janata Party. Adil Singh Boparai, national spokesperson, Congress. Shazia, let me begin with you. In the last 1 hour, there's been a flurry of release where lists are concerned. It does seem that in Rajasthan, the BJP is following the same template like in Madhya Pradesh, sitting 7 MPs being fielded for state elections.
So one thing about the Bharatiya Janata Party is that we are taught, and there is very obvious that there is no attachment to your position, whether it's you're a Sansad or a Vidhayak or a candidate or a Karyakarta. It's anytime, whenever duty calls, you're there and you can go, and people do it happily. But I wanted to respond to the Deputy Chief Minister's comments that he just made. I totally disagree with him. When he said Prime Minister Modi has nothing to do with these elections because they're state elections. I think the fact of the matter is that the central welfare schemes, when they impact, and they obviously do impact the states, and you will look at a huge factor and a big constituency, and which is beyond a region, beyond a caste, and beyond a religion, which is that of beneficiaries, Labhartis. So if I were to read out and just tell you, because of central welfare schemes, whether it's in Chhattisgarh or in Madhya Pradesh, the kind of, whether it's a matter of 5 new highways or new aims or how many houses that have been given, you will realize that those factors do matter in the state elections too. Yes, voters do look at the Prime Minister, the Lok Sabha elections differently than the local elections. But the fact of the matter is that the central welfare schemes make a huge impact also in the states. And the Labhartis thereof make a point because they have a sense and a taste of the governance, administration, law and order, and what is the promise of Bharatiya Janata Party, which is very clear in front of all of you, as well as the ambiguity of the INDI alliance and each of its ghataks or the partners who are now contesting all on their own on different seats, warring with each other, yet pretending to be together. So I think there's a lot to be seen here, and I disagree with what the very sober.
But then he did give some examples. It's not, one can suggest what happened in Karnataka. Karnataka's political landscape very different than the Hindi heartland, but not much before Karnataka, you had a Himachal Pradesh, you had the Prime Minister on the ticket, yet the Congress swept that election. But having said that, Adil Singh Bopar...
It was a point, 0.7% of difference, the one. And you also had Gujarat, and you had other states also. So like Rajiv just said, every state is different.
True.
It has its own dynamics. I was just merely talking about the fact that the central welfare schemes do not impact the state beneficiaries. That is not true.
Boparai, the Bharatiya Janata Party has pulled out all the stops. You have sitting cabinet ministers in the hunt. You have sitting MPs in the hunt, not just in one state, but right now seemingly in Rajasthan as well.
Preeti, the BJP is a one-man
Adil, you're on
party.
mute.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now, Preeti?
All right, we seem to be having an audio problem with Adil. While we try and... Yeah, go ahead, Adil. Yes, go ahead.
Preeti, the BJP is a one-man party and a two-man show. And the fact that they're getting their senior leaders into the electoral fray demonstrates that they're rattled. Now, coming to the issue at hand, the BJP over the past 9 years has ruled through lies, hate, and propaganda. And you will see in the impending elections that their bubble will burst. Now, coming to these 3 or 5 state elections, let me start with Rajasthan. Rajasthan is the only state in the country, and I think this is an unimaginable and a commendable feat. It is the only state in the country to implement the right to health. There is no parallel in our subcontinent, let alone our country. Number 2, it is the Congress BJP government which has come out with an equivalent of Manrega in the form of Indira Gandhi Urban Employment Scheme, which provides for 100 days of guaranteed work in urban areas. Again, an impressive feat unmatched in any other part of the country. Number 3, we implemented our poll promise of implementing and bringing out the old pension scheme, something which senior citizens, something which pensioners have been yearning for the longest time. Number 4, we provide for 100 units of free electricity. This is just Rajasthan. When you come to Chhattisgarh, let me start off by saying that we have the Rajiv Gandhi Kisan Nyaya Yojana, 9,000 rupees per acre for the farmers. We've restored the old pension scheme. We have contributed in terms of the loan waiver, which is to the tune of 10,000.
Which never happened. The loan waiver that never happened.
Okay. You know, we're going to come back. Okay.
Allow me to complete.
Let him complete. Let me open the panel, and Shazia, we'll come back to you for a rebuttal.
The list of things, I think
no, this is a problem.
Okay, one second. Let's not get into this. Adil, 10 seconds, please wrap. Open the panel. We'll go back to Shazia for a rebuttal.
Preeti, we have delivered on our promises. We have ensured that the promises actually see the light of the day, unlike the Bharatiya Janata Party. And to my very esteemed BJP spokesperson, I have a question for her. What is her response to Ramesh Beduri's obnoxious comments on the floor of the parliament? Does she have an opinion?
Okay.
Will she voice
the sheer fact that also by the sheer fact. I'll add to that question later. Adil, you made your point. I'll add to that question later. Ramesh Beduri has been made in charge of the Tonk area, which has been communally sensitive over the last couple of months, but we'll come back to that later. That aside. Okay, Avinash Kala, I want to bring you in as somebody who's watched Rajasthan politics closely. BJP's list announced just about 45 minutes ago. What do you make of it? 7 MPs in the hunt. Diya Kumari right now. Rajyavardhan Rathore. We're going to give the list out. Break it down for us. What's the mix that the BJP is looking at by fielding these names? Of course, speculation still rife on the likes of Vasundhara Raje Scindia and Gajendra Shekhawat. Will they also be fielded?
It's quite a surprising list. 7 MPs contesting in the first list was not that we were expecting, but it has come out. The most interesting has been Diya Kumari contesting from Vidyadhar Nagar. Now, with this, BJP breaks a stereotype. That is the seat that was reserved for former Chief Minister Bhairav Singh Shekhawat's family. It's a seat that they have won 3 times in a row with an increasing margin. And sources tell us that the family was assured by higher ranks that they would get it. This comes as a big surprise. Chhotwada, from where Rajyavardhan Singh is contesting, is a seat that belonged to Vasundhara Raje loyalist and former Minister Rajpal Singh Shekhawat. Now, that is again a surprise. And on this seat, locally we have been hearing that an RSS person was all set to contest. So Rajyavardhan coming in breaks Vasundhara's candidate and also of the RSS. So the bridge coming in together looks a little difficult. So, these are the 2 most talked about people. And interestingly, they have given Kirodi Lal Meena and Colonel Baisla's son 2 important seats. So one is a Gujar, one is a Meena. Last time, BJP could barely get 1 seat in the eastern Rajasthan area. This time, fielding these 2 caste-heavy leaders into the fray, they are going all guns blazing. They want to make sure that they capture this area maximum, because with Sachin Pilot not being made the chief minister, Gujar vote bank is something that the Congress is not very sure of getting now. But the most talked about seat would be Diya Kumari.
Diya Kumari, interesting.
A lot of speculations.
A lot of speculation. Amitabh Tiwari, let's pull you in on the state of Rajasthan. The selection of tickets right now by the BJP, as Mr. Kala also elucidated. Also a message for Vasundhara Raje. Loyalists will not be entertained.
Yeah, there are only 2 seats which we are discussing about where Vasundhara Raje's loyalists have been denied. So still we have some time to go.
Okay.
See, out of these 41 seats, BJP won only 2 seats in 2018. So most of these seats BJP lost in 2018. Of the 2 seats or the MLAs, one has been retained and one has been dropped. Now, if you see the list, the MPs have been fielded to win in the difficult seats or the seats which the party lost last time, as in the strategy or as in line with the strategy in MP. In MP, the first list which was out was also of difficult seats where the BJP had not won a single seat in 2018 election. Now, if you look at the MPs, the 7 MPs, 2 are Rajputs, 2 are Jats, 2 are non-Jat OBC, and 1 is a scheduled tribe community. Correct. So 7 people, largely catering to 50 to 60% of the population. Again, if you look at the regions, 4 MPs have been fielded in the Dhundar region, which accounts for 58 seats, and BJP won only 10 of these seats in 2018 and was largely responsible for the loss in 2018. So the MPs are being pushed into regions where BJP lost last time. And like Avinashji said, the Kirodi Lal Meena factor did not work for the BJP in 2018. Despite his Ghar Wapsi, the BJP could win only 4 of the 26 Meena belt seats. He is again being pushed to fight or contest so that the party is able to win some Meena belt as well as some ST community seats. So the focus is on regions, the weaker regions, Dhundar, and the scheduled tribe or the Meena belt, where the party intends to make some comeback. And 10 of these seats are swing seats, which means 10 of these seats vote alternately for different parties in different elections.
All right, Mr. Tiwari, hold on to that thought. Shazi, I know you want to come in. I just want to introduce Manish Dixit, senior journalist, into the conversation while we give out numbers in terms of the list that has been announced by BJP in Madhya Pradesh. And finally, there was speculation whether or not Shivraj Singh Chauhan will get a ticket or not. He's going to contest from Budni. Manish Dixit joining us. Manish ji, जो नई लिस्ट, चौथी लिस्ट मध्य प्रदेश की बीजेपी ने अभी रिलीज की है, क्या मानते हैं, क्या आंकड़े हैं उस लिस्ट के पीछे, क्या थॉट है?
देखिए, उसमें सबसे बड़ा जो पॉइंट है वो यही है कि बहुत दिनों से ये स्पेकुलेशंस चल रहे थे कि शिवराज सिंह चौहान ये चुनाव लड़ेंगे कि नहीं लड़ेंगे। और अगर आपने देखा होगा कि पिछले 1 हफ्ते से बहुत इमोशनल कॉर्ड छेड़ रहे थे वो पूरे स्टेट में कि मैं चुनाव लड़ूं कि नहीं लड़ूं, मेरी सरकार कैसे चल रही है कि नहीं चल रही है। तो कहीं ना कहीं इस लिस्ट में वो दबाव जो है बीजेपी हाईकमान पे पड़ा है। और ये पूरी जो लिस्ट है आज 57 लोगों की, इसमें कोई सरप्राइजिंग एलिमेंट नहीं है। द रीजन भी, जितने भी लोग हैं सब सिटिंग एमएलए हैं, केवल 1 सीट का इंटरचेंज हुआ है, बाकी पूरे 57 के 57 उसमें यू वोंट बिलीव कि 24 मिनिस्टर्स को पूरे को टिकट दे दी गई, जबकि बात चल रही थी कि जैसे गुजरात फॉर्मूला यहाँ पर इम्प्लीमेंट किया जाएगा और बहुत सारे मंत्रियों के टिकट काटे जा सकते हैं। बट 24 मंत्री 24 के 24 आज लिस्ट में उनके नाम शामिल है। तो इसका मतलब है कि ये कहीं जो अभी पहले की जो 3 लिस्ट आई थी, दे वर फुल ऑफ सरप्राइजेस। उसमें इतने सरप्राइजिंग एलिमेंट थे, जैसे सांसदों को जब किया, 3 यूनियन मिनिस्टर यहाँ से कंटेस्ट कर रहे हैं। बट ये लिस्ट मुझे लगता है कि कहीं ना कहीं स्टेट लीडरशिप ये समझाने में कामयाब रही है कि पूरा इलेक्शन सेंट्रल लीडरशिप के भरोसे या उनकी ही जिसको बोलते हैं उनके गाइडेंस में लड़ा जाए। ये एक मैसेज मुझे
बस एक आखिरी सवाल करूंगी आपसे, अगर आप बताएं जो शिवपुरी की सीट है, जो यशोधरा राजे ने बोल दिया था कि नहीं लड़ेंगी, क्या अभी भी स्पेक्यूलेशन उस पे जमकर हो रही है कि क्या ज्योतिरादित्य सिंधिया उस सीट से लड़ेंगे?
देखिए मैम, ज्योतिरादित्य सिंधिया उसका बिल्कुल चल रहा है कि उस सीट पे ज्योतिरादित्य जा सकते हैं। प्लस जो अभी कैंडिडेट्स उतारे गए हैं वो सब ऐसी सीटों पर उतारे गए हैं कि जो वीक सीट्स हैं बीजेपी की। शिवपुरी से कोई भी बीजेपी का जो वर्कर है वो जीत सकता है। तो अगर ज्योतिरादित्य सिंधिया को यूज करेंगे तो किसी ऐसी सीट से यूज करेंगे जो टफ सीट है बीजेपी के लिए।
The Bharatiya Janata Party has given out lists in All three states, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, at the back of the Election Commission announcing poll dates in 5 states. Cut across to our panelists this evening. Amitabh Tiwari, political analyst, still with us. Shazia Ilmi and Adil Singh Boparoy. Shazia Ilmi, interesting. Chhattisgarh, Raman Singh, one never thought he'd be getting a ticket. He is contesting. We'll also getting in figures from Telangana as well. We're going to put the data out there. But Shazia Ilmi, the Prime Minister on the ticket in all 3 states at least where the Hindi heartland is concerned, but of course all 5 states going into election.
Yes, Preeti, I would just like to make a few comments based on what the previous speakers had spoken about. Firstly, I would like to ask my honorable opponent, Adil, that, he's talked about one-man show, two-man army, and the same breath he talks about all the senior leaders. Clearly, there's a contradiction there. There are so many senior leaders out there. Secondly, about the promises kept. Yes, promises have been kept in Rajasthan and in Chhattisgarh. The promise of corruption, Congress party for corruption, that promise indeed has been delivered. That is the promise that people identify Congress party with. As for tickets, as the learned analysts have spoken about, imagine the gumption and the valor of our party that in the most unwinnable seats, constituencies are considered unwinnable or were deemed so in the previous election. As the results tell you, we have put our best people there.
But Shazia Ilmi, there are 2 ways of looking at it. One can also say before the final happens, field the MPs in a semi-final, har gaye, so you have a better option going into the finals. But Adil Singh Boparoy...
So that's one way of looking at it. But the fact of the matter is, can any party think of doing this? They would want to, and in fact, Mallikarjun Kharge said that in the parliament.
Another thing, Adil, what really one would have thought would happen is the Prime Minister in a rally in Telangana saying that the BRS wanted to join the Bharatiya Janata Party. Actually, that's advantage Congress. You should be glad that happened.
Well, there is enough evidence to indicate that the BRS is the B team of the BJP. And there is a sense of bonhomie between them. But I'll leave that for another discussion. The issue today here is, Preeti, that the BJP is a divided house. Mr. Raman Singh is a rejected leader who is neck deep in corruption. And as far as Rajasthan is concerned, you have a divided house. You have leaders like Ms. Vasundhara Raje Scindia. You have Chief Minister aspirants like Mr. Gajendra Shekhawat. Then you have other leaders such as the Law Minister, Mr. Megwal. So the BJP is a divided house when it comes to Rajasthan, and hence the desperation of the BJP. I see it differently. I see it as a sign of being rattled. Point number 2. Point number 3, it is surprising and ironical that the BJP is talking about corruption. They are the fountainhead of corruption.
Adil, there's a huge problem with your audio link. We're going to try and rectify that audio. But you're talking about, various leaders wanting to be CM and the factionalism in Rajasthan. Once again, what coming in by our local correspondents, they're all not quite well with the pilot Gehlot camp. Having said that, let me also quickly now bring in Amitabh Tiwari back into this conversation. Amitabh Tiwari, less than a month now, month and a half away from elections. We are full campaign mode. What would be the X factors that you'd be watching out for over the course of the next month and a half?
I think the X factor is going to be the mood of Janata. कौन से मूड में जनता वोट करने जा रही है, कौन से मूड में जाती है, आक्रोश या आशा? If you see the earlier polls, all the state governments are actually fighting with their back to the wall because there is a lot of local anti-incumbency against the incumbent governments as also against the incumbent local MLAs. The second factor is going to be economy. Economy sees the pain point today for the BJP because in all the states, unemployment, price rise, and corruption are the top 3 issues. So whether the voter goes and votes lured by the Congress party's 5 promises or by the promises and schemes of the state governments like Ladli Behna or the central government schemes is going to be keenly watched out for, because economy is going to, I think, play the crucial role here, and all the governments are trying to lure the voter on the basis of schemes like even Ashok Gehlot on the basis of social welfare schemes. But what thus this brings to the element is that it gives a tadka of class politics to caste politics. So the current Labhartis of the BJP's central government versus the future Labhartis of Congress's 5 guarantees. That is where the contest is.
Well, it's interesting because it's class politics versus caste politics versus Hindutva. So it's a three-edged sword there. Okay, Adil, your audio's fixed. Go ahead, make your point.
2-3 points here. Number one, we are going to the electorate on the strength of the efficiency of our welfare schemes. And what is critical when it comes to welfare schemes is last mile delivery. I think the Congress party, whether it is Rajasthan, whether it is Chhattisgarh, has demonstrated its mettle when it comes to the last mile delivery of services. Number one. Number two, we have a clear line of leadership. Unlike the Bharatiya Janata Party, which is a divided house, which is fighting amongst itself. Number three, the BJP is the fountainhead of corruption in this country. They are agents of the Adanis. So when the BJP points fingers at us...
Okay, I want to bring in Shazia Ilmi for a quick comment before we close and what we started off this conversation with Amitabh Tiwari. Shazia Ilmi, class versus caste...
10 seconds.
10 seconds, sir, quickly.
Number 4. My very esteemed colleague from the Bharatiya Janata Party has not responded on the BJP's blue-eyed MP.
I got... No. That's the question I was asking Shazia Ilmi. Class versus caste plus Hindutva. Otherwise, what explains the fact that you have Ramesh Biduri, who used the crassest language in Parliament, made in charge of talk?
Prime Minister's blue-eyed MP.
Let him, please let her. No, allow the same grace. She heard you out. Allow her the same grace. Go ahead, Mr. Ilmi.
Does not have much to say, which is why he wants to bring in something that we have discussed threadbare and many other occasions, because he knows that it's such a slippery slope he is on when we discuss the 5 elections and what has happened, whether it's Rajasthan or Madhya Pradesh. If I start counting Madhya Pradesh itself, I mean, just look at, we talked about future Labhartis as compared to the present Labhartis. People have got something for the very first time. I'm not even talking about it not being a Bimaru state, becoming developed from all of that. The look of Madhya Pradesh has changed. So, I mean, 42 lakh homes, 84 crore toilets, 84 lakh toilets.
But it's something you wear on your sleeve. Hindutva is a calling card. You're using it along with class politics.
87. So, see.
And if you look at Rajasthan, the way you've distributed tickets, caste as well. It's a heady mix of all three. Go ahead.
Preeti, we all have a part of politics. You cover it. I've covered it. I've been in it. So it is always like that. It is always this a variety, a veritable motley of these factors.
Okay, Mr. Tiwari wants to come in for 10 seconds. Mr. Tiwari, 10 seconds.
Class factor compared to, but something different has happened in the last 9 years.
But but Shazia, we still know nothing explains why Mr. Biduri is going to be made in charge of Tong, which he is. Mr. Tiwari, 10 seconds, need to close the show.
Yeah, 10 seconds. One X factor which I missed is the women voter. The women voter outnumbers the men in Chhattisgarh, Mizoram, and they are equal to the male voters in
Bang on. All right, with that, it's the end of the show, but we're going to have you, all our panelists, very soon again over the course of the next month and a half, because the campaign is now on in all 5 states, and it's a campaign on steroids. Expect the analysis, the ground reports, the numbers right here on India Today.